Private Living, Rio de Janeiro, 15 January 2023. We will make our movement quite simple, quite clear. First, we will present something here to have in mind and remind things. Did any kind of these distortions happening from public area Brazil, specific segment on budget, public, annual, since 1988, all year, continue, systematic patterns on it, and especially levels of association, leading to corruption, criminal association, and transnational organized crime at least since 1992, equal 92 event on Rio de Janeiro. In 2007 we had the Pan American Games and FIFA 14, Olympics 2016, provide anything. We had white collar crime, tax evasion and financial evasion, and supporting this by a failure tolerate at the liquidity money cure, allowing the storage, not necessarily in Brazil, and supporting criminal activity in global scale, leading to piracy, and you are not satisfied, you decided to steal data, putting your corruption as institutional level, very functional, violating basic rights and guarantees since individuals until moral entities, national states, and threatening the entire global community, perpetrating very intentional and according with the pattern observed as behavior systematically presented and observed, noticed on budget, obsessed and very compulsive. You are doing espionage, sabotage, and economic thief, stealing data and intellectual asset, even on the antitrust justice of United States of America, or asset as industrial portfolio on NATO, Europe, European system, affecting the core business, the industrial secrets, and the freedom of thoughts by prohibitions not allowed in other system, crossing the limits of your jurisdiction and put you as a council of peers under the international observation, because your corruption achieved the international level, and then you are, having an approach with biohazard, weapons of mass destruction, especially observed on contracts and frauds on supply chain, affecting the consumer market as a diffuse field, putting the entire mankind on track, and having here the possibility as crimes against mankind. Did you perpetrate any one of those special types of violation by the abusive behavior as institutional procedure misguided and misused, very systematical, very compulsive, and very obsessive, crossing the limits of your own jurisdiction, affecting the privacy, the property, everything inside this space, and not satisfied after got charged, the credit, the effort, and the interest related with, because if I'm doing something relevant, not at this dumpster, but for other area, probably I must have some kind of secrecy. And if you violate this, got in touch with the issues, I must defend myself, pointing you as the cause. We will move from the point we stopped And we could get this in the very first moment of our conversation because I'm living inside my private space with my family, doing things very in accord with the law, all everybody okay, and you decided to cross the limits of my private space and putting traces, your disgusting traces and very repulsive at my arena, at my space. And I'm kind of got suppressed or oppressed or forced to live in a way that I do not like, especially by things that I'm doing inside my private room. And you decide to push the limits and cross the lines of my private room. For sure, you affected the interest on it. You push this modifying data or putting things on my space to put me in a situation that I do not belong. And I told you that you will have resistance in the same pattern observed on the international business machine for sure and as a stakeholder. I'm backing off this. In the same way, the Western judicial system and equally on Asia. And by this, you, criminal offender, I request the international jurisdiction because I do not like you. And I talk to them will have now, after all things exposed, 48 hours since Friday to you present your reasons to commit all those crimes as three groups of accusation plus this huge number of violations. Can you justify your criminal behavior and your abusive procedure associated by corruption in a local level or international level, especially on budget by law? I bet you can. We will observe that after have this, we will move from the point we stopped. We have our area as east, the west, the east, and the middle east that I will call as center. So we will check that this pattern invasive indeed broke windows and will change things by the scheduled events in global scale and by the complementary relation between these two both. Indeed, I will observe that I have a circle formed, and by the levels of distortions on it I can operate here or even surround here, especially by the reduced capacity, and sometimes they kind of are not accepted at the entire global system by things they believe as their own way of do things. If they do not like homosexual people or you must respect, but during the global events they must understand that there will be homosexual there or things like this. But things have limits. You shouldn't consider that you will do some kind of orgy. There's things absurd that in general we are forced to observe and accept. This is the idea. Those distortions after got the center or surround the area, we could observe that we'll center the area, but we will increase the distortion, for instance, on center, on west, and on east. This was the point that we stopped last week, and now we are kind of advancing. We present the accusation one more time, the time to offer their final reasons, unable to do, of course, and pay the payroll. And by all this honest behavior, the fees and the judicial penalties are all acceptable at toast. So, to the financial system, international. And they must pay this. You must have observed the chronological and the hierarchy at the payroll as the credit. You can receive, for instance, something before the creditor as the owner of the thing and consider that it's okay to a default. There's something wrong and will affect all creditors around by the quality as creditor and considering the element credit at the relation as charge this credit, of course that she will have an instability, and it's not the purpose at the West preamble. The instability at the square is when you lost the balance of things as equalizing things and will kind of shake or have that situation like inside the boat. And then we'll check that those areas got increased. And always we'll have the most promiscuous area here. The most promiscuous area here indeed had operated that the entire circuit have the failure routed by chairs, and this routing process it was suggested, for instance, was requested on American Embassy or British Embassy to the top level IBM, US government, top level and State Department, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, to walking through the judicial system all around to get this model. We had a history as financial expectation with, for instance, the War Society on UK to have this. It means that you will pay this payroll. It's 1% of the first 3 trillion, which implies 30 billion, plus the cases as 3 billions. Amount total 33 trillion. I can have a donation or 50-50 deal or whatever, it's not my problem since authorized by the antitrust justice, and I'm representing the creditor and all interest related with since recognized by the judicial system having the decision. We observe that these kind of things are the consequence of the do not exist the proper control against the corrosive argument on west, on east, the complementarity setting the circle able to surround the center, the east or the west. Like this, the model as database sigma and the new tracer got this routed by chairs as failures, considering that model that you have as bank, a lot of things. Frequency from Brazil, very corrupted system until 199, all corrupted considering 197, but gets 199.98 as the donation and the crowd fund of those kind of immigrants and things that go like this, and the 199 as the transnational organized crime that in general is the concurrent failure of all areas having the storage and needing this kind of circuit with broken windows to transfer the failures and have the insertion, replace and laundry as still the main premise of the organized crime. Easy to get, especially on websites, and have it clear that nowadays is trending to streams and having the insertion and the integration at the election by donations and show as show business or artists at the show by estimative groups of account as very first record. You do the lie since the very beginning, the same way you observed at some specific department. It's named the deep web scam, inventing proofs and buying decisions, and now we go by interaction as corruption in general having listed advantage as observed to do not pay this credit. It's named white collar crime, you're fraudulent. defaulters at the debitor system. Our reasons are finished, since the orders got recognized in the same way I am credit sourced on my legal right as compensation under total constitutional conformance. You will pay this entire thing.